Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Christelle Martinette, Claudia Monacelli. I'm recording this today after a night when I had someone come to me, right? And it was no one that I recognized, and it was just the figure of a man, a sort of a hefty kind of guy. And in the morning when I open my eyes, I do a series of things. And one of the things that I do is check my news feed. And I realized that, I was reading it. And then one of my followers had written to me and asked me if I could channel this person. And they said, he just passed away a few days ago, and it was an odd death, and she was writing to me, and so I went and I checked the picture, and I realized that was the image that had come to me, and so you can see that it was a spirit that comes right to you. I had no clue who this person was. And just to give you, there is the image that I saw. And it was, non-expressive. Here you see in this upper left-hand corner, there is a smile of some sort. But what I had seen in my during my night was nothing like that. It was more like, the other two pictures, a very serious a picture, and it was not trouble. Of course, it wasn't troublesome to me. But then, of course, I checked, and this was an earthbound soul. So let's get started. And when I say get started, I'm looking at start moving. So before I go on, and then when I come back, I'll let you know. For those of you who want a private reading, write to me here. Get to order a private reading, a private session, a private channeling session for loved ones, or to start having lessons in movement. A free first lessons is always offered. A lesson in voice. There's a voice consciousness lesson, a breathwork consciousness lesson, and a conscious grace in movement lesson. Very interesting lessons. So let me start by getting the information out about this rapper. Essentially, he is a music professional. I would say that that's the best way I could describe him. And the interesting part about him is that he has this rounded nature. Overall, he's not just a rapper. So who was Sidhu Moose Wala or Vala? He was very young. He was born in 1993, so fairly young. I mean, he's in his 20s, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and he passed on the 25th of May. And he was known by his stage name. His regular name would be Shubhdeep Singh Sidhu, and his stage name is Sidhu Moose Wala. He was an Indian singer, a rapper, a songwriter, was an actor, and a politician as well, associated with Punjabi music and Punjabi cinema. He was shot dead by unidentified assailants on the 29th of May, 3-4 days ago. He was traveling in his personal car and did neither have the 2 bodyguards that were provided by the state government, nor did he have his bulletproof car. So that alone goes to show how things develop in the spiritual world and in life in general. A Canada-based gangster active in Punjab claimed responsibility for the killing, and indeed it was. He was killed by him. And according to the initial investigation by Punjab Police, the incident was due to inter-gang rivalry. And the Chief Minister of Punjab announced a judicial investigation into his death. Okay, so now there are so many things you could read about him in the description under this video. He started his career as a songwriter and so on and so forth. He gained notoriety and attention for his track called So High, and then went on and on and on and on. And he was known for his controversial lyrical style, often promoting gun cultures. You see him in pictures on the web, sporting a gun, while also challenging religious sentiments, as was the case related to Mai Bhago, a revered figure in Sikhism. He had faced legal challenges for promoting gun culture and using inflammatory and inciting lyrics in his song. And as of 2022, there were 4 ongoing criminal cases against him. He was a member of the Indian National Congress and was unsuccessfully contested the 2022 Punjab Legislative Assembly election from Mansa. Let's get to the bottom of this and try to, I know that when people write to me, they say, oh, if you channel him, ask him this, ask him that. I can't do that because I need to see why he's come to me. What is he interested in knowing, in communicating? So let's start. And I have a very heavy air around, very heavy. It's sort of gray. It's gray, heavy, almost violet color there is. The smell is as sort of a light incense smell, and almost as if it were an incense, as if it were just a stream, a floating stream of energy around the room, but it has a slight scent to it. This is a person who was quite unhappy during his life. And he's saying, you see me. Others don't see me. I am here now. And thank you for bringing me back to my death and my spiritual life. Now I am able to open a Pandora's box, and by this I mean I am saying that I was killed for rivalry. This is true. And it is the sad part of society as I knew it. And I was fighting against it, even if all you saw of me was a brutal character sporting a gun. This did not mean that I was a harborer or supporter of violent means. No, it meant that we needed to rise up and bring our truths as citizens to be heard by the powers that be. Yes, you could say, I was an angry young man. I am an angry spirit. Angry because my life ended before my soul decided it was ready to go. And this is why I remained earthbound until today. Can you understand what it means for a soul, a spirit, to be earthbound? No one sees you. No one can hear you. No one talks to you. Complete isolation, and more than that, It is the profound feeling that you are completely alone. You are not one, but only alone. When I was alive, I had much difficulty in honoring the spiritual maxim by which everyone is linked to a unique spiritual vibration. You see, I trusted no one. It was difficult even for me to trust those people I grew up with and I knew. You may want to know and ask, what about your family? For me, my family gave me life. I am thankful, but my mind and my thoughts were my own. They did not necessarily support me. If I may, I would like to send my closest family members this message. Forever remain true to those messages you have in your heart, no matter what, no matter how difficult they are and how contrary to mainstream ideas they are. Very simply, I must tell you that perhaps in a brief while I will feel like I am in peace. Now, specifically now, I feel I am still in a state of unrest. I was not in the light. I was brought to the light and asked to pass. I was reluctant to go. I agree. But those spirits around me convinced me it was necessary in order for me to continue my work from this place. No, I will not be reincarnating now. I will be told that I can choose between several options. It is not necessary now to speak of this, but more importantly, it is necessary for me and you to come to a serious understanding and reckoning. This life you lead is your life. He's shouting, this is your life, your life, your life. And the angry young man image does portray what I'm looking at, what I'm communicating with. Although there is a very soft nature, there's a very soft, how can I put it, as if there is a glow around this spirit, as if there were the traces of the images that I'm seeing are light colored towards a blue shade and giving off light. But this person is a very powerful voice, still a very powerful voice. Okay, let's continue here. Only remember that I loved people, my family, and those close by. I am and was capable of unconditional love. But I chose a very important road to travel down, and this was the road for me to say what I felt was needed and to speak my piece. I know those lovely of you, those love-filled people who are listening to me, do have days when you could swear you were a completely different person and you had a completely different life, and it was as if you were Dr. Jekyll and then Mr. Hyde another day or another moment. This is very common. This is very normal. But what is not normal, and again I want to shout it, is that you who are listening want to relegate the responsibility of your own life and what happens to you to a divine power that does not hold the key to the development of your life and soul. You make decisions that create the unfolding of your life. And yes, you can pray to a higher power, but know that this higher power lives within you as well. There is a place in your consciousness that stores that divinity that you can accept, or you can choose to put away and sidestep, opting for a darker power, depending on the situation your life is undergoing at the moment. So for you who are now scratching your head and thinking you don't understand what I am trying to say, please let me clarify that there are two sides to life's coin and two sides to death's coin. They are one and the same, with different sides and different colors. Embracing darkness and embracing light are one and the same. If you are to find balance, you need to understand your dark side in order for you to live with it, manage it, and use it to your discretion and to reach your goals. Remember that I am not saying you need to now go and worship devils of darkness. No. But I am telling you that they exist, and they too are angels. Many call them fallen angels. Other cultures call them different things. But I believe you can agree with me when I say there is a darkness in certain types of energetic feelings you sense, and there is a light quality to the light energy you sense. To establish a balance in your life, you need to understand and learn both of these energies. I am also very, very upset with laws around the world which disgrace people from choosing a sexual preference which does not go along mainstream sexuality. This is part of my life where I too suffered. Many of you listening may seem very upset or look down upon what I am talking about now. But be advised that we are talking of human nature, and human nature embraces a wide array of feelings and beliefs. There are no limits and there are no boundaries to what humans can perceive for themselves in any domain. And because of this, it would behoove you, it would be wise for you to reach literally for the stars, because you can and you will become anything you desire and set your mind and soul to. Of course, there are some of you who are listening who believe this is not true. But you can change your fate by the decisions you make. And I will never tire of saying this over and over again. Do not expect me to profess kindness. Yes, I will tell you kindness is of the essence, as is love for all. But my message is to have your voice heard, no matter what your life is and what your living conditions are and where you live. You just need to be faithful to who you are and to your resounding message. What were my plans? My plans were to ultimately become a politician, because I felt that politics was the only way to be able to make an impression and to be able to change things I no longer believed in. But believe me when I say that it is extremely difficult to have a lasting impression, to be a lasting impression for others, especially when you become part of the political arena, because the political sphere is highly corrupt. You may say, as are other spheres, but when there is power involved, corruption abounds even more so. Value your lives. Value your health above all, and value those close to you who make you who you are. Tell them that you love them. Embrace them. Tell them what you believe and have them become part of your message. Not to convince them, but at least for them to appreciate you even more. It is not simply a matter of appreciation. It is a matter of your very soul's countenance, your very soul's message to the world, and how consciousness will be changed. We as souls, incarnated, souls with a body, have the ultimate job of fostering consciousness that can be shifted from a demonized world, a negatively energized world, to a more healthy one, energetically, emotionally, and physically. I do not believe I am a prophet, as I mentioned. I do not profess, but I do have a message, and I've come insistently to this person so I could understand what had happened to me. I no longer was able to communicate. Because of that thought, I was slowly failing. Then I was brought out and am very thankful. Have faith. Faith means believing in something greater than yourself, whether it is a guru, a lord, any kind of culture you may have. Believing is something that is greater than you yourself. There are many definitions of the divine. There are as many definitions as there are peoples in this world, and all of them have their own definition and their own cultural practices and religious practices or spiritual practices. Love is not a boundary. It is not a border. It is a home. Love means coming home. I feel now that I have come home. Just as I have been speaking to you, I hope and wish for all of you listening to this message that you someday will feel that you are coming home, not after you have passed, but once you have understood what it means to be part of one another, even when you have the ability to speak your mind and shout out your message. I hear and sense there are many of you who want answers to the way I died and to understand if there will be justice. These are not answers or questions that trouble me and should not trouble you. It will not change anything for me, nor will it change anything for you. Pray. I will answer your prayers, and call me. I need to speak with you and sense you can hear me. I am new to this game of communication from afar and can only try to use a different sense to communicate with you. Love each other and love yourselves. Ooh, a lot of energy. Like I said, a big, huge presence, a huge presence. And, you know, it's as if I got the impression, you know, this person is new on the block. This is, you know, so much, so fast, so quickly. And like always, I hear what they're saying, but I don't listen, and I'm not able now to even comment because I have to go back and listen. But I do hope this was of help for those who were fans of his and for those who need some kind of closure in other areas of their lives and understand different things that were part of messages that this interesting soul, Sidhu Moose Wala, came to give us. A very particular person, a very particular soul, a very particular energy he had. Again, it was a pleasure to be able to give you his messages, and I'm happy that we did. Do again a shout out to Start Moving. We do Moving is Life. Write to me and ask for an initial free lesson. I'll have you try any of my lessons. Tell me your time zone when you write to me, and I'll set you up. Ladies and gentlemen, write to me for personal readings. I'm here. Namaste. It was a pleasure. Bye-bye.